over shop, and we're going to do just a short video here on how we go about removing and changing the control arm bushings in the Mini Coopers. These are a common problem, and we sell the parts for them, but we want to show you some things that we've learned on how to remove these bushings while they're still in the car, without removing the bracket, without removing the subframe. And we think we've figured out a few things that you might find helpful. Hopefully you do, and hopefully this video helps you. First of all, we start by just removing the control arm, which is obviously this bolt and this bolt. And once we get that removed, we pull it out of. Alright, so now we've got the control arm. We got the control arm loose. Now we're going to pop it out of that bushing. Even though the bushing has leaked and has gone bad, it can still be a bit of a challenge to get removed, because it's actually a steel collar that's on the control arm piece and then the rubber urethane piece. Now that one removed. This one came out fairly easy. They don't always come out that easy. And then that leaves this in place, and then that's what we're going to have. Okay, one of the things that we've discovered is that you can actually torch these things out. And if you take a look, and you can see we're heating up the bracket just underneath that bottom part. And you got to get it pretty hot. But once you get it hot enough, then you can grab your air chisel and you can air chisel it out. Now we're going to air hammer that out. A couple of ways we do it is to push a little bit on the front, just to make it move, and then jump onto the back immediately. And you can air hammer it right out of there. Presto magic. And there's the bushing. And that's just how easy it is to get it out with a torch. Now, if you don't have a torch, the other way to do this is to take a Sawzall and cut vertically down just enough to break this collar on the metal band, and then you can then use an air chisel and push this up, and it'll free it up, and you can then push it out. But our preferred method is the torch, because you saw how easy it can be. The Sawzall is the second method we use if we don't have a torch available. So that's pretty much it. The next thing we'll show you is how we install the powerflex bushings, which we provide to our customers. Okay guys, now we're going to show you how we install the powerflex bushing. So it's a urethane bushing. We take a rod, a 3/8 rod about 6 inches long, and we double nut this side, use some bearing presses, and basically just got to keep this lined up, make sure it doesn't pop out, and then you can just tighten these bolts slowly. That's the key, and make sure you've got it lubricated, and then it'll slip right in place. Go ahead, Glenn. Now, sometimes you have to put some tension on this rod to keep it straight, to keep that bushing aligned. So you can see with the breaker bar in place, using a shoulder to hold the breaker bar up, using the subframe to hold the back wrench, you can use the front wrench, and slowly but surely that bushing will pop into the bracket. Come on, Glenn, faster. Once it's started, then you can just simply take your breaker bar and push it the rest of the way in.
Make sure it's set.
Make sure it's set.
And take the tool out.
And you can remove the tool.
Here, make the rod a little longer. It's easier to work with, gives you a little leverage point. 6 is about the minimum. 8's about where I prefer it to be. About the. Just takes a little longer to get the things off. That's all.
Okay, so then you can pull that out of there. Now the bushing's part the way in. Take our favorite tool and gently push it the rest of the way in. And it's popped in. And that's how we get the bushings inserted back in the brackets without removing the subframe. Hopefully those tips will help you do the job with a little bit less stress and wear and tear on your body. Okay, now this is, I want to make sure that this is, you can see that this part here is flat on this side and it's concaved on this side. It has that little lip, and you want to make sure it goes on this way with the, because of all of the welding burrs that are on the OEM part, and that's what PowerFlex did to protect the bushing from that. And then we take the bushing insert, stick that on there. It comes with a little packet of goo, and then we want to put the goo onto this part and then slip it into that black part and put the control arm back on the ball joints and tighten it up, put it back together, stick it on an alignment rack. You definitely want to get an alignment